it's time for my next read, and I have been so excited about this one. I mean, look at it. Like, the lamp is kind of helping, but it's still not quite doing it justice. It's beautiful. It's so beautiful. And I've been seeing this book everywhere already, so that already kind of helped. Oh my gosh, I can't quit staring at it. So that already kind of helped, but yeah, like both the good opinions and like the beautiful cover. I've just been dying to finally open this up. It even has the gold sprayed edges. Oh, it's just perfect. But yeah, I've been dying to open this one up. So I can't wait. Also, I just think the idea of this one is really cool and different than like anything else I've read. So like that's super exciting. It's what are their names? Violet? No, Evelyn and Arden. I don't know why I was thinking Violet, but basically she's lived like so many different lives, and in each one they're like destined to kill each other, and they just start the next life over. And I think it's before they turn 18, or before her 18th birthday, by Arden, a supernatural being linked to her soul. But the twist is this one, I guess she's super actually connected to her family, and her little sister needs her in order to stay alive. So she really desperately wants to stay alive for her sister, but Arden's trying to kill her, and I think is she trying to kill Arden back? No. I guess it's just Arden killing her. She's not killing Arden back. But either way, it'll be super cool. I'm really excited. I can already tell when I finish this one, I'm gonna be displaying this one on the shelves like this way instead of that way, or like that way. You know what I mean? It'll be like that on my shelf. But yeah, I'm really excited. So I can't wait to get started. To make things even better, I just took off the dust jacket because I didn't want to mess it up while I read, and I want to like keep it looking good. And look, it's so pretty. It says, "Maybe that's all love is in the end, an endless tempting of fate." So pretty. And then it's all in gold. Beautiful. It just keeps getting better and better. Oh, and also I open up the first page and it like, I don't think it'll do it again, but it hadn't been opened yet, so the gold was like, it kind of is. Like, you can hear it like cracking apart a little bit. It sounds really good. Sorry, I need to get reading and like quit just looking at the book, but I'm obsessed with it. Okay, I'm only a few pages in, but we're getting some like context. It's basically like everything I've said from the beginning, but I was thinking about it. I was like, if I had to relive just my youth over and over, like you never get above 18 over and over. That's the worst part, is that like those years kind of suck. So it's like you never get to be in your 20s or like anything beyond that, because you don't really realize, she said, you don't realize your like fate until you're around 8 years old, and then you start remembering. So you know you only have 10 years left with these people, like your family. So you still love them, but it's like, you know, you're going to be leaving them soon. And she mentions like grieving people because you know that you're going to lose them, which is also just like a fact of life, but the shortened time frame and like the due date kind of makes things scarier. But I'm like, if I could never make it above 18 years old, would that be awful? Or like, if you could live a full life over, that would still be like kind of annoying because you don't really get any rest after that. But you never become older than 18. Oh, so awful. Okay, literally on the next page, it mentions this. It says, her sister says, I found your list, or I found your extremely tragic list, the things you're going to do when you're adult. as though adulthood is some mythical state. And then she says, I'd kept such a list in every life I remembered, filled with things I'd do once I broke the curse and finally lived. Oh, that's so awful. So, like, tragic. Okay, I'm only on page 35, but we found a few things out. A, she actually has made it to age 18 twice. B, he wrote these poems when they were living in Russia, and these poems have been discovered in, like, this is like in a future life in like year 2022 and translated, and it's like a big hit, and she hasn't read them. But like after the end of the chapter, they gave one of the poems, and I love it. I'll read it. As I gazed upon the first bramble, I thought of how the world reinvents itself year after year, century after century. Summer deepening, always into autumn. Winter brightening, always into spring. Growing new flowers from old roots. And I thought of how it feels to hold you. Each season of you. Our love blossoming afresh, year after year, century after century. New flowers from old roots. An eternal seed from which life will always bloom. I am loving this. It's so fun. It's so unique. We also learn that she doesn't remember anything, like, of why it's their destiny for him to kill her. Like, she described it in the way of she can remember really well the past 5 lives, but anything beyond that is, like, so hazy that she said it's like trying to remember when you're a baby. Like, she's so far removed that her memory has been, like, dulled, so she can't remember why they're, like, fated to kill each other and die. But he kind of, like, let it slip because he said the truth would hurt her too much, so he's not going to tell her. But he let it slip, saying, what was the exact? She said, why are we like this? And he said, because of a deal made long ago. So I'm not sure, we don't know why, but oh, and the reason she has to stay alive for her sister is that her sister has leukemia, and they need her stem cells, like Eleanor's stem cells, to help her sister out, but they won't do the like procedure till she's 18, so she has to stay alive till 18 for the procedure, and then she said she can go. But, like I said, sorry, it's late. But like I said, I'm loving this. This has, like, serious 5-star potential. I could just, like, feel how excited I am about it. And I know that when I try to go to bed, I'm gonna be, like, thinking about it. But I kind of am like, why don't they just agree to be together whenever they have time? Because even when they were in Russia and they were, like, together, they didn't acknowledge, they both knew who the other person was, but they didn't acknowledge it until it was, like, time to die. I'm like, why don't they just be like, in the next life, I'll find you, and then they'll be together. And then when it's time for them to die, they'll both go peacefully, and then just, I know it sucks, but I'm like, it seems better than the alternative. And then they can even do it, like, because she said she's been, like, blown up by grenades and crazy stuff. I'm like, they could do it way better. But who knows? I don't know why they haven't done that, but maybe they're in denial. Anyway, I'm gonna get back to reading because like I said, I'm only on page 37, but I'm loving it. Not to keep just reading quotes, but like, there's so many. This one said, so Evelyn in this life is a boy named, I don't think they give his name, but he just lost his father, and he's like excited to see Arden because he wants the grief to be over. And Arden says, The Evelyn I know, they love over and over and over again, even though it can only ever end in tragedy. Even though they've lost everyone they've ever loved, and they miss them in the next life, and the next, and the next. Never have they developed hard edges like I have. Never have they tried to protect themselves from that pain. They love softly and fiercely and openly. And it's the bravest thing I know, the most human thing I know. I don't know why this book is just like hitting me, but it is. And I'm like so excited about it. I'm already on page 70. Yeah, and I'm just like, I need to go to bed soon, but it's one of those things where it's like you just are like, okay, one more chapter, and it's like almost midnight, which is late for me. So we'll see how much I can get done before I actually have to go to bed. Okay, so something kind of funny, it's the next day, but something kind of funny is usually I don't mind dog-earing my pages or anything. I mean, I'm careful with my books in terms of like actual damage or like the covers or anything, but I'm like, oh, I'll just dog-ear a page. I don't really care. But for this book, I got out a little bookmark and I'm actually using it because I just can't. I do it on like my pretty books, and this is counting as a pretty book. Of all the places this book was heading, this is not where I thought it was going. So he agreed to finally tell her why he has to kill her. And she's like coming out with possible scenarios. And one of the ones she says is, but my most compelling theory is we made a deal with the devil. And then it says, at this last suggestion, Arden stilled, and my bones knew something before my mind did. My heart hitched in my throat, my whole existence on the brink of free fall. He says, we didn't make a deal with the devil, Evelyn. You are the devil. What? What? How? I need to keep reading. Okay, so we got a bit of an explanation. So, Arden's sister was sick, and what's her name? Evelyn? Why am I so bad at names? This is so embarrassing. I'm just gonna keep calling her Evelyn, but she was like a devil, but like one right under like they call her the mother. And so her job is to go reap more souls that will also become other devils to reap more souls. The only thing I haven't liked about this whole book is they're calling it a pyramid scheme, and they've done it several times. And it's like kind of jokey, but now it's becoming like kind of serious. And I don't like it at all. Yeah, I don't like that they keep calling it a pyramid scheme, because it's kind of like so trivial. I don't know. I don't love it. But I mean, it kind of is one, the way that they recruit people to then be recruiters. But I digress. So they've decided to basically, by killing each other before they turn 18, they're able to delay their fate of having to go back to reap more souls. So what they've decided to do is that so they can't die from any other hand but each other, because their souls are bound to each other. What they've decided is that since Evelyn's soul is bound to the mother, they think that she can kill the mother. So they've decided to wait till they turn 18. They'll be called back by the mother, and then she's gonna try and kill her. So we'll see if they're in the underworld, and he's being like tortured kind of, because his suffering heals the mother, and she tried to kill the mother, and the mother survived. So they're just kind of trapped there with nowhere to go. Two things. One, so they ended up making a deal with the devil to get out, and they will never have to reap again. They'll be done. But what they have to do is they have to give the mother all of their love for each other. And in the next life, they'll just grow old and live like normal, but they won't remember each other. Well, then in the next chapter, we go back to the original deal of how she become Evelyn. Do I keep calling her Evelyn? Is that her name? Evelyn. Of how Evelyn became the devil, and she was in love with Calliope, and Calliope like had like a seizure and died, and we find out that the mother had killed her. And so Evelyn made a deal with, her name's not Evelyn in this, they call her something different, but she makes a deal with the mother that she will begin to reap souls and stuff if they will, if the mother will give them infinite lives together. So she says you can be together in infinite lives, and that's how the whole thing starts. That's how her and Ellen, not Ellen, oh my gosh, Ellen is literally in Mistborn, and I'm getting things mixed up. Her and Arden, jeez Louise, me and names, it's so bad. Oh my gosh, her and Arden can always find each other in the next life, and that was the deal that was made. So I wonder how the other the first deal, like not the first deal, but like them no longer having like their love being taken away, I wonder how that is going to trump them being together in infinite lives. But I think I have like 7 pages. No, I have 6 pages left, so we'll see. In this deal that Evelyn is making, she said like part of the deal is that she won't remember. So that's why she doesn't remember how she like became a devil. That's why she doesn't remember all the past lives that her and Arden have. And that's just the reason for her memory loss. Okay, so it's over. It ended with, they were in this coffee shop and Arden walked in, or like Arden in the new body, he walked in with like a pen and notebook and the book, what is it, 1,000 Years of You, and a pen and notebook, which she had, earlier in the book, she said an easy way to spot Arden is that he always had a notebook with him. And so even when their memories are gone and he walked into this coffee shop, he was like, oh, he's carrying a notebook. And he didn't realize why that was so meaningful, but for us, it's meaningful. And it ends with them going up to each other and being like, do we know each other? And they just feel pulled to each other. So we assume that even though they don't realize it, they found each other again. That was so good. Like I said, the only things I didn't like is that they kept calling the devil thing a pyramid scheme. It kept going on even towards the end. And then there were a few like pop culture references that I was like, eh. But it wasn't as bad as in some other books. Like there was a reference to Taylor Swift, but it was like in a fine way. And I was kind of like, okay. And some other stuff like that, where it didn't pull me out of it too much to have pop culture references. But yeah, I loved it. I'm gonna give that a 5. Like, that's a strong 5. I read that so quick. Usually I'll read for a bit, I'll be on my phone. This one, I just would sit down and read, and I was like, oh my gosh, I've just read 150 pages and like didn't even think about it. So I'm really glad. I was wanting a good book, and now I can finally put the dust jacket back on. And yeah, I loved that. It was so beautiful. So, and I loved the little bits of poetry. I think it was like almost every time there was like a chapter. Let me see if I can, okay, find one. It would be like this, where there's poetry from the book that he wrote. in it. So it was just fun to get a little, and sometimes it would kind of relate to what was happening. And yeah, love. I literally might have a book slump after this because of how good this was, but I'll quit raving and I'm gonna find a good place to put this on my shelf where it's displayed. So I guess talk to you later.